Hey guys, this is Karthik from the Reseller Club marketing team. Thanks for joining us for this great webinar that we're going to have in partnership with the dotAsia Registry. So we will have with us Edmon Chung from the dotAsia Registry, and as you know, Reseller Club, we've had a great couple of years in partnership with dotAsia. We've had some really good promotions, and they've been very happy with the work that you guys have been doing in terms of promoting the dotAsia Registry, especially the namespace which is meant for this booming market. So today we're going to have Edmund talk to you about what more you can do and how you can take dotAsia to the next level, right? The growth in the Asian market, especially Southeast Asia, India, and China, has been phenomenal. And Edmund today is going to help you, give you more ideas on how you can market dotAsia, especially against the backdrop of some other TLDs which have been trying to capture namespace and the attention of people. So I will transfer control to Edmund, and he will take you through this PPT. At any point in time, if you have any questions, you can jot down your questions on the webinar screen, which you'll see on your right side of your screen. So over to Edmund.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for having me and having dotAsia here at the Resell Club webinar. I will try to click to my screen. Just checking to see that you can also see my slides. Is that coming through okay?
Yeah, it comes through okay, Edmund. I guess we're good to go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So yes, so I would be always happy to talk about dotAsia, and we're very excited about the development of the Asia-wide market. In fact, 2015 is shaping up to be a very important year for the Asian marketplace, as the integration of the ASEAN countries and as tariffs go away into a free trade zone. I'll come back to that a little bit, but 2015 is going to be a very important year for the Asian market as it integrates, and I think India is going to be leading the way in the ASEAN countries for this opportunity. And of course, for dotAsia, we think that we are our domain can help you capture that market as well. And today, Asia is already the largest internet marketplace in the world. In fact, we are more than half of the internet today, and in fact the top country being China, and India is currently already in number 3 in terms of number of people online, and by the end of next year it is well expected to overtake the US in terms of number of users online. So this is the marketplace to be. And for dotAsia, we think that the value of dotAsia for companies is not only for foreign companies coming into Asia, but also especially for small and medium-sized companies from Asia expanding into the Asia-wide market. And that creates a kind of friendly online identity for SMEs and startups to grow beyond the local market into the regional market. Another very important aspect is the value of dotAsia domains in search, and that actually is integral to what I mentioned in terms of expanding the marketplace, because from many studies in the past, we see that the domain name is an integral part of search engine optimization strategies. And for example, if you search for something in India, actually, all things being equal, .in domains actually rank number 1. .asia domains rank second, and .com and the other TLDs rank further below. And if you're in Japan, .jp ranks higher, and .asia second, and then .com and the others, all other things being equal. And that kind of value is very interesting, because if you look at the Asia-wide market, then what it means is that .asia being second place in all the other regions is in fact number one across Asia. And that's one of the value that our customers are seeing. And I think, you know, for .asia domains, it's not only just a name that represents your identity online, it actually helps you organically grow the search engine optimization. Some of these messages and some of these value of .asia domain, we actually are sort of categorizing it and packaging it into a showcase site that we are launching right now, soft launching under domains.asia. Domains.asia is a site that we are trying to learn how to support resellers and support registrars to enter into the market and to sell .asia domain names. So please go to domains.asia, and if you have any suggestions, please bring it to us. And the domains.asia site is not intended to compete with your business. Instead, if you have ideas to promote .asia domains, we can test them out with the domains.asia website, and we can try it out, and we can share the information back with you, and also share the promotion packages back with you, and that's the purpose of the domains.asia site. And if you see anything you like in domains.asia site, do connect with Reseller Club and let us know, and we'll be more than happy to share those materials with you. So as we grow the .asia domain, in fact, right now we're at about 400,000 domain names. What is more exciting for us to see is a growing .asia presence online. And one of the statistics that we're tracking is the number of entries indexed at Google. So that has grown from when we first launched in 2008, 2009, at about 10 million to over 300 million entries now indexed at Google earlier this year. And this is a screenshot that I'm pretty excited about also, is that you can see that not only the number of .asia domain names growing, but in fact the online advertising is starting to use .asia domain names in the advertising itself. That shows some of the value that .asia is bringing, and also shows that it's being used in the wild. So that brings me to a discussion where I think, you know, from domain names, one of the things that we feel is that it's more than just name now. Domain names used to be a command line on the internet, but it has grown more than that. In fact, domain names are really like locations or destinations online. And when in the real world, in the brick and mortar world, we often talk about marketing as location, location, location. And the best example is when you see chain stores. The reason for chain stores, in fact, is that they bring in traffic from every single store. So the value of having a store at every corner of the street is that it brings in more customers. It brings in more traffic into the stores. And domain names do that today. So in the past, a lot of companies focused on one particular domain name, but in the future, and in fact right now in the US and European markets, many companies are now utilizing a strategic portfolio of domain names. So what is important, I think, in terms of, and this is also what dotAsia believes, is that domain names have grown from simply being a direct navigational tool. That's back in the maybe early 90s. That's how it's viewed. And then as the internet grew, domain names was also brand value and vanity value. There were high-priced domain sales, you know, in the late 90s and early 2000s. From there on, actually, last 10, 10 years or so, the domain investment value and the search engine optimization value are being realized for domain names. And we're seeing this growth. In fact, in the last 10 years, we've seen this transition in the US and European market. And we very much believe that this transition is going to happen in the Asian marketplace as well. So in fact, we are starting to see the trends of utilizing domain names for search engine optimization here in this part of the world as well. Although that is still a very much emerging development. And it ties into one of the domain investment value as well. And this is an area that I think more, if we can let more people know and let more companies know, it will actually help not only drive our businesses, but also drive the value for our customers, which are the small, medium-sized businesses and the businesses in Asia. And what that really means is that, as I mentioned, in the past we always focus on one particular domain name for a company, and that's still the mentality a lot of times here in Asia. But you must have heard of the long tail value that the Internet brings. In fact, having multiple domain names or a strategic portfolio of domain names, that's a big part. A big part of that value is the long tail. So just like as I mentioned, as the chain stores, a lot of traffic from different stores, what happens here is that you can imagine your key domain name being your central store. Most of the traffic is still going to be coming through the main website. However, if you have a strategic portfolio of many domain names, that drives search engine optimization. That drives, the type of traffic, and that helps users find you online, and that creates the long tail value for companies utilizing a portfolio of domain names. So in order to support this type of long tail value, one of the things that dotAsia Registry has been doing in the last couple of years is a strategic price promotion to lower the barrier of entry. We've brought down significantly the entry price point, and through ResellerClub, we are bringing down the cost for you as well, and also for your customers, so that they can try out the domain names at a very low cost for the first years. We're seeing the volume increase by a significant amount, and in fact, even though because of the low cost in the first year, the renewal rates go down a little bit, but the overall increase in revenue base we are seeing in the last 2 years is over 25% per year. So we hope to see that value come to your businesses as well, and we're seeing the demand for dotAsia increase. And here's a very exciting development. When dotAsia was first launched, a lot of registrations came from the US and Europe, where the domain market is more mature. But in the last couple of years, the majority of domain names are now coming from Asia, with Japan and China leading the way. However, what I really want to point out is these 4 countries, India, Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia, in fact form a very core part of the dotAsia strategy going forward. What we are seeing is very exciting usage of dotAsia domains, like for example, Development Bank of Singapore in Singapore utilizing DBS.Asia for the campaign around Asia, Corona.Asia using their Corona.Asia in the campaign across Asia. And these are the more exciting use cases that we are seeing that is coming out from the ASEAN countries, with India leading the way. I mentioned this Asia market integration early on, and I think this is going to be a very important aspect for dotAsia, as well as for the whole Internet marketplace as well. And we think with the single market and the lowering of the, actually elimination of tariff barriers by the end of 2015, the next year we'll see a huge growth in the Asian integrated marketplace. And we think that dotAsia stands to be a strong value for for companies to make use of this integration. And looking at the Asia-Pacific internet as a whole, you can see that India is a little bit behind in terms of the Asia-Pacific and global average. But that actually means that it has a great potential for growth. Currently, India has only about 17, less than 20% penetration. However, this is going to change in the next few years. And as I mentioned, one of the most important change is that India is very likely going to overtake the United States to become the second largest internet population in the world within next year. And that's going to mean that China and India will be leading the way for the global internet. And not only that, one of the exciting parts is that the GDP growth in India is going to be, a big part of it is going to be driven by internet development and internet e-commerce work. In fact, today, however, only a very small percentage is coming from e-commerce and the internet economy. However, that is projected to be tripled by the end of next year. And a lot of this is going to be driven, we believe, by mobile internet. And here you can see India is still a little bit behind, but much less behind than in overall internet penetration. And this is the area that we think the India internet marketplace is going to grow a lot as well. And you can see that with this in Asia overall, it also tells us it paints us a very good picture in that it's expected in the next 2 years that Asia will start to occupy almost 40% of the global B2C e-commerce sales. And what is even more exciting to note is that Asians are actually more willing to spend on the mobile internet. And this is a very exciting development, and especially exciting for the Indian marketplace as well. And I think we at dotAsia, in fact, are starting to see very interesting development of usage of dotAsia domain names as well. And a lot of new dotAsia domains are being used as URL shorteners. And I think this has something to do with the e-commerce development as well. However, one of the things that India needs to catch up on, based on many of the studies, is the payment platform. And I think as resellers, this is one of the areas that you can lead the way, and that's also a very exciting part for us as well. With all this knowledge and with also this development in the domain name space as well, dotAsia is continuing, besides the price promotion, besides some of the market analysis and research that we're doing, we're supporting a number of initiatives to promote the whole domain industry, and also, of course, the dotAsia domain sales as well. One of the examples is our work with the Asian Domain Summit. Another example is bringing different organizations around Asia to global platform through our Community dotAsia initiative. I personally have been in Delhi and in India a few times actually in the last few years, promoting the dotAsia domain, and here at the DomainX event earlier in the year. And also we continue to work with different companies around to promote the dotAsia domain. What is also exciting to note is that in a recent post, a recent study by a blogger, we're showing that dotAsia is actually very high and very active in the secondary market place. And this is a very encouraging development, as we can see that there is a value, a secondary and an aftermarket value for dotAsia domain names. With all this, would like to sort of bring it back to a little bit of our background. The dotAsia organization itself, even though I talk a lot about the marketplace, we ourselves are actually a not-for-profit organization with a mandate to promote internet development and adoption in Asia. And we are supported by the authoritative CCTLDs around Asia, including in .in in India, .cn in China, and many of our other member CCTLDs around the region. And every .asia domain name actually contributes funds to the internet development in Asia. And out of the many support that we give, like for example for One Laptop Per Child, for different initiatives, for R&D grants funds, there are 4 flagship events that we run, which is integral to some of the promotional aspects of dotAsia as well. The NetMission.Asia initiative is a youth volunteer program, and we have one of the fathers of the internet, Vint Cerf, as an honorary advisor. Another key flagship initiative is Go.Asia, and we've enlisted Kung Fu martial art celebrity Donnie Yen as a key founder of Go.Asia initiative as well. And we have and under that initiative, it's actually reaching over 4 million people by now. And through the initiative, we're also reaching kids. We're through cookbooks and various different areas. We're also supporting a Give.Asia donation platform. That's a kind of a crowdsourcing donation platform that we're supporting. And this year, a very exciting development has happened. dotAsia is now operating as the secretariat for the Asian Film Awards, and that's like the Asian Oscars. So beyond Chinese stars, we're also seeing Indian stars, which you know, for the names, I think you are even more familiar than I am. But this is the type of work that helps bring the dotAsia domain into the mass market as well. And finally, we also support the Asia Pacific Regional Internet Governance Forum, as well as a Youth Governance Forum, which was held in Delhi earlier this year. So looking into the future, as you know, and as the industry now knows, we are looking at a future of many, many more top-level domains. And many people often ask, so how do you see that impact dotAsia or other top-level domains? The way I see it is twofold. One is that I think the more the end customer actually knows that there is a choice of domain names beyond .com, there is actually going to create value for every of the top-level domain. And more importantly, I think dotAsia has a very strong identity value for businesses as they grow in the Asian marketplace. And I think the future, even though the future is not just about volume, I think what is important is the awareness of many top-level domains will drive the general volume for your business as a reseller. And the other things, very exciting things that are happening is actually, for example, the Internet of Things. One of the things that people talk about is that, you know, search and QR codes and many things kind of alleviate the use of domain names. But one of the things that I see potential is with the Internet of Things, there is a potential for an Internet of Names. The way that you would name your fridge, your sink, your oven, your TV, you can actually utilize a domain name for that. And that is just the beginning of a very exciting future that we see. And more importantly, in the future, I think people are going to be surrounded by companies especially will surround themselves with more than one domain name, and the value of domain names for search engine optimizations, for driving traffic, is going to be a strategic portfolio. And we hope that, and we believe that dotAsia can be a central part of that portfolio, because one of the things about domain names and the value of domain names, I believe, is that they are identities that connect with people, and we believe dotAsia has a lasting value in terms of creating identity for the Asian internet marketplace. Thank you. So, and I pass it back to for questions and answers, perhaps.